As a branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. Okay, fruitfulness. Fruitfulness. Remember what our theme. No, a plant produces fruits of its kind. A plant produces fruits of its kind. So when you plant an apple tree will produce an apple fruit. So one of the key understanding of fruitfulness is that our fruitfulness is connected to God. Okay, are you guys with me? God is our source of fruitfulness. If you read Genesis chapter 1, I think verse 13, it just explains the fruits, the concept there. Genesis chapter 1, verse 13. Genesis chapter 1, verse 11 and 12. 11 and 12. Say then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its own kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. So God is saying that let what grass and the herbs and fruits, let everything produce fruits. But this tree has to produce the fruit according to its kind. And it says it's the seed that produces that fruit. Okay, so what is the Hebrew word for fruitfulness? It's called para. All right, follow me. The Hebrew word for fruitfulness is called para. P-A-R-A-H. Pa. Para. Did you do phonics? Pa. Ah. Ru. Ah. Yi. Para. Para. Yi. All right. So we have to when from Nigeria, we have to correct the way we pronounce things. When I came into this country, I used to call tree. I want to say free. I'll say tree. And they said, excuse me, what do you mean? I said, tree. I keep saying it, tree. Do you mean free? So I had to learn phonics again because God bless my teachers. Either it was the teacher's fault or it was my fault. Because when I was growing up, I was a very stubborn boy. My name was called Bobo. So when your parents gives you a nickname, I try to tell you that. So we probably weren't listening very well, So when the child does not listen, so it goes in from one ear, it comes out from the other. So the fruitfulness is called para. And the root word for para means to bear fruit, be fruitful or increase. All right? And when we're looking at purpose, anything that is designed for specific purpose. A phone is designed to make calls for communication. Clothes that we wear are designed to shield us, to make us beautiful, to protect us. A car, what's a car designed for? Somewhere. Mike, what's a car designed for? This is a simple question. But what's a car designed for?
Driving.
For driving. What's your favorite car?
A Porsche.
Porsche. What's a Porsche meant for?
Driving.
Driving, to drive fast, or a slicky Porsche. All right. So in essence, what are we trying to say? Purpose. Fruitfulness is designed. There's a purpose God has placed in man that we should be fruitful. So God has designed man. Are you with me? So God has designed everybody here to be fruitful. So we have to go back to our mandate. And then when we talk about mandate, everybody thinks that mandate is that God has called me into this ministry. God has called me. No, the very first mandate, the very first instruction that God gave to man, the very first word that man heard is be fruitful. So fruitfulness is tied to that mandate. You are called to be fruitful. You are called. Somebody say, I'm called to be fruitful. I'm called to be fruitful. So if there's anything we want to learn from this Sunday school this morning, is that we are called to be fruitful. So the application of this, because one of our learning outcomes is to understand practical ways to be fruitful. The first thing is to have the mindset that I will be fruitful. My account will be fruitful. I'll be fruitful in my skills, like someone that wants to play football. You'll be fruitful in your playing of football. In other words, you excel because you are called. There is a mandate, there is a blessing upon your life to be fruitful. Para, to bear fruit, to be fruitful. Now, we've talked about the source of fruitfulness. So, no fruit comes by itself. Bear that in mind. A fruit always have its source. You know, every fruit, because you think about it, it said fruit, it didn't say seed. It said fruit, be fruitful. So there is a source. Now, as Christians, we know that our source is God, and that's what we're going to focus on now. Before I probably have 5 minutes because I started around like, 20 past 11. Now, I'm going to teach you the mechanics or the concept of fruitfulness. The concept of fruitfulness. And there are two concepts I'm going to explain. We'll look at one. Uh, this next Sunday, we'll look at the second one. So that is what we call the concept of fruitfulness. Another word will be the science of fruitfulness. Someone says science of fruitfulness. Who is doing a science subject here? Samuel, what is science? Yeah, it can be that. Someone you want to try? Praise, you want to try? You did science? Yeah, let's give praise the mic. Let's praise try. Try. Come on. What is science?
It can be a story of like David and Goliath.
Just speak up a bit. Raise your voice a little bit.
David and Goliath, the story of David and Goliath.
Yeah. Story of. Okay, thank you. You guys are trying. So what I'm getting at, science is is a study. Couple of words to bear in mind. When we say science, we are trying to study a process. We are studying to connect dots. All right. So if you want to say the science of motion, how a car moves in motion, is that we are studying to see what is the engineering around a car moving. So um, there's no abstract. Science don't believe so much in abstract. Science wants an evidence, and that's what we're looking at. So in John chapter 15, which we read earlier on, but we'll read it again. So there are two scientific methodology we're going to look at. There's a science of seed and fruit. Someone says science of seed and fruit. Seed and fruit. There's also the science of vine and branches. Vine and branches. So all this studying is looking at agriculture or what they call plants.